Lesson 80 today. Last one for this week. I don't know when you're watching it, but it's the last one for this week. All right. Lesson 80 is dividing whole numbers by fractions. Okay? So they've drawn a piece of string, right? And each piece of string, she divides a string, the whole thing is 6 centimeters long. And she cuts it into 2 centimeter pieces. How many 2 centimeter pieces fit into a string that's 6 centimeters long? Well, 3 of them do, right? 3 times 2 centimeters. So 3 pieces of length 2 fit into 6. So 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Because 6 divided into 2 centimeter sections, there would be 3 sections. Now, James divides, let me draw a string. James divides a string 3 meters long, so it's 3 meters, into pieces that are half a meter long. So if this was 1 meter and 2 meters, we'd have a half, and a half. So how many pieces of a half meter fit into 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 divided by a half equals 6. Okay? Let's look at number 1. How many pieces of length 1/3 can I fit into 1, right? If it was 1 centimeter long and I snipped it at 1/3 and then at 2/3, how many thirds would I get out of it? 3. So 1 divided by 1/3 equals 3. How many pieces of 1/3? So here's my 1 and I've cut it into thirds and I have 3 of them. The next question says, how many pieces of length 1/3 fit into 2? Well, what if I had a second line? I did the exact same thing. How many pieces would I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 times 3 equals 6, right? How many pieces of length 1/3 fit into 5? Well, I'll draw you a picture. And then maybe we can just figure out how to do it without pictures. So 3, 4, 5. And each one of them is cut into 3. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, right? So 5 times 3 is 15. So let me make sure I'm getting this right. So this would be 5 divided by 1/3 equals 15. All right, let me do B with you too, just so you get the hang of it. How many pieces of length 1/4 fit into 1? Well, 4 do. How many pieces of 1/4 fit into 2? Well, 8 do. How many pieces, oh, it didn't ask me about 2. Pardon me, got ahead of myself. Fit into 3. Well, I go 4 times 3 equals 12. How many pieces fit into 7? So I go 7 times 3 equals 21. So 21 fit in, okay? So this actually means 7 divided by 1/4 equals 21. And this means 3 divided by 1/4 equals 12. And this is 1 divided by 1/4 equals 1. Okay? Go answer question 1. 2, find each quotient. A quotient is the answer to a dividing question. So sum is adding, difference is subtracting, product is multiplying, quotient is dividing. Find each quotient. 9 divided by 1/5 equals, I go 9 times 5, because it's cut into 5 pieces, equals 45. So you're going to do that a couple of times. Your whole number times your fraction, your denominator tells you how many pieces you'd have. Now, let me skip down and do another one. 7 divided by a 7th equals, well, I go 7 times 7, 49. 7 divided by a 7th is 49. If I had 7 lines, and I cut them each into 7, it'd be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, right? If I cut them into all those pieces. Okay, pause the video, go answer that question. Okay, how many strings of length 2/5? So on our first page, we were only doing numerators of 1. This time I'm doing numerators of more than 1. But think about it. If this was 1/5, so 1/5 of 5, it would be 5 times 5, which is 25. But I don't have 1/5. I have 2/5, right? So that's twice as big, which means it's going to take half as many of them. So I would have to cut it in half. Let's see what they say. So how many strings of length 2/5 fit along a length of string of 4 meters? So let me draw the little thing here. So we've got a 4 meter. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4 meters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And they would they're all cut into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I only need 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever. So they're all cut into 5s, right? So what I have to do is figure out what 4 divided by 1/5 is. I can do that because we just did it. It would be 4 times 5 equals 20, right? So 4 divided by 1/5 would be 20, right? But 2/5 is twice as big, so it would only be half as much. So we need to divide this by 2 to figure out what 4 divided by 2/5 would be. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. So if I was counting 2/5, I'd go, well, there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way along, and I'd end up with 10. Okay? Let's see what we've got for number 3. How many pieces of 2/3 lengths fit into 4? So 2/3 into 4, right? Which is actually, the heck? That's not a third. 2/3 into 4. So 12 pieces of 1/3, right? Because remember, we had to figure out what 4 divided by 1, holy cow, 4 divided by 1/3 is. So I go 4 times 3 equals 12. So I got to figure out what 4 into 1/3 is. It's 12. And then because it's 2/3, I'm going to divide it by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 12 pieces, or 2/3 into 4 is 6. Okay, let's try the next one. How many pieces of length 3/5 into 6 fit into 6? Okay, we got to start out with 1/5, right? So 6 divided by 1/5, 6 times 5 is 30, right? So 1/5 is 30, but we need 3/5, so we have to divide by 3. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. Okay, you finish the last one. It's about your variables, but I'll leave you to do it. I think you are quite capable. Okay, 2 more. write each question from answer from question 3 as a division statement. So your very first question we did was, how many pieces of 2/3 fit into 4, right? So we need to change that into a division statement. So we found out in the answer from it that it was 6, right? Because we figured out 4 times 3, right? So actually what we wanted to figure out was 1/3. So 4 times 3 means that 4 divided by 1/3 would be 12. But we need 2/3. So we need to divide that by 2, which means 4 divided by 2/3 equals 6. So this is what you're going to write for the division statement in question 4A. 4 divided by 2/3 equals 6. I'll do the second one with you, B. So it was, how many lengths of 2/5 fit into 4? That's what we had originally. So we need to figure out 1/5. So 4 divided by 1/5, I go 4 times 5 would be 20, but we needed 2/5, so we had to divide by 2, so it equals 10. So 4 divided by 2/5 equals 10. That's what you're going to write for the answer in 4B. Okay? Number 5, last one. Okay, 9 divided by 3/4. All right? Now, they've got a line times a line divided by a line equals a line. Okay, so remember, we have to figure out, we've got 3/4, but we got to figure out 1/4 first, right? So 9 divided by 1/4 would be 9 times 4, right? Because we got to figure out 1/4 and then we have to divide it by 3. So 9 times 4 is 36, divided by 3 is 12, right? I'll do one more with you. Actually, I'll do a couple more, just so you get the hang of it, okay? 8 divided by 4/5 equals blank times blank divided by blank equals blank. Okay, 8 times 5 divided by 4. 8 times 5 is 40, divided by 4 is 10. Okay? Let's do the last one and see if we can do it without the lines. Okay? Maybe I'll even do 2 of them, just so let's try 8 divided by 2/7. Okay? I gotta go 8 times 7, which is 56, and then divide it by 2. Half of 56, well, half of 50 is 25, and half of 6 is 3. 25 and 3 is 28. Okay? And one more. 12 divided by 4/5. 12 times 5 is 60, divided by 4, 15. Okay? You finish them up. You're done for today. Have a good day.